Does anyone have any comment on the meetings as distributed from September? Greg?
Yes, under announcements from the Board of Directors, Randy Robbins' last name is misspelled. And District 16 has a volunteer for EPAP who is an EMT, is correct. Incorrect, I have a volunteer MRT.
Page 3, at the top. So the change on that last one for District 16 is you have an Thank you. Any other changes, amendments? If not, could we entertain a motion to accept these minutes as entered with the exceptions noted?
I so move.
Moved by Linda Vieira. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Marcia. All in favor, please raise your hand. And it passes. Okay. We have an unusually healthy raft of papers before us at this meeting, so there must be good stuff behind all that paper. On the chair report, I'm not going to take a lot of time today. We've got a number of things we need to cover. I just wanted to talk briefly about the motion that we will entertain again to get the Code of Conduct and Ethics passed and into the books for the Delegate Assembly. There's been a number of people that feel that this is unnecessary or they shouldn't be involved because it's going to affect them. I truly see nothing in here other than good policy. And oftentimes we're still confusing principles with personalities. And if you ever sit and talk at one of these meetings and you feel yourself getting heated and you feel yourself breathing a little faster and the heart's going, it's a pretty good chance you're focusing on personalities and not principles. Because if you stood back a little bit and said, if you were hired to do this for somebody else and you didn't know anyone, what would you write? And then you're now focused on the principles. So I hope that we can all try to separate principles from personalities because it makes all of our lives easier as we try to help in the governance of the HOA. And that's all I have to say today, so we'll move to guest speakers, item 3, and that starts with Will Baker and the Sun Lakes Veterans. And apparently Will is not here, so we'll move to Michelle Walter, who has 2 presentations, one for community awareness and one for Welcome Home.
Good afternoon, delegates. I just want to, I think everybody, Jean Dobson, where are you? You wanted this, you got it. So I'm giving you a brief overview so I don't have to go through absolutely everything, and it does have the stats. So what I'm going to do, this is the district, the community awareness first, and I want to just thank everyone that came to the delegates and alternates. We had a great turnout, and I'm very, very appreciative. We just had our community awareness program on Tuesday. Ruth Osborne from SCAM gave a presentation on health education. We had Candace Jenkins and Janice Rice give a presentation on what to have in your emergency to-go bag. We also had Valerie Almanza from EMD Emergency from the County of Riverside. 2 things she advised were to download the Genesis Protect app. This helps you stay safe in emergency. You can download it on Google Play. Officials in our community use Genesis to share safety information and instructions during an emergency. You can also go to ready.gov, which gives you information on power outages, severe weather, flooding, building an emergency kit, plus FEMA mobile app and emergency alerts. Our next presentation will be on November 5th, and we have several presenters, and I'm not going to go through all of them because you can see them on there. And then I have received, and I'm not sure why, I guess I'm the trash lady and the mosquito lady, so I've received several calls regarding mosquitoes in our area. I have contacted Andrea Merrill, environmental health technician with the County of Riverside. She advised me that they are putting out some traps, and they have also sprayed. They received permission from the city of Banning, to spray. The mosquito was called Aedes aegypti, also known as the ankle biter. And let me tell you, I have it to prove it. Appearance, they are small black mosquitoes with white stripes on their backs and legs. Behavior, they bite during the day, especially around the ankles. They can bite several times, and I won't go through the rest of this, but you can see on there what there is. And she also has said, if you have a problem, you can give her a call. She may not answer you right away, but she will get back to you. So I do have her phone number. I do have her phone number on here, 951-766-9454. So I do have that on your paper here. And I also wanted to let you know, for our Welcome Home, we have some new packets that we're going to be giving out. And I want to let you know also that for this new Welcome Home, if your Welcome Home person did not show up and they did not call you, they are not coming to the next one. I will give you their information packet, and you can give that to them. But again, don't forget, we have to pay for each of those people that don't show up. And at $25 or whatever it is per person, that's a lot. So I'm just letting you know, and as you can see, I gave everybody the packets for the invitations. I hope you all like them. Jerry Blodgett did a wonderful job on them. And so I've given you the amount that for the 3 months of your, is my time up yet? Of your, how many people you had on your Welcome Home log. So that's how many that I gave you. If you need more, I will give you more. But I didn't want to give you a bunch of them and then them go to waste. So, because we do have to pay for those. Any questions on anything? Marcia?
Can you verify the date and the time for everybody so they can get that on here for the next Welcome Home?
Oh, so I will send everybody an email out with the Welcome Home, and it is the 17th. It is the 17th from 5 to 7, from 5 to 8. And if you know any of the groups or clubs that want to be part of it, I'm more than welcome to we can have up to 12 clubs. So, yes, Linda?
Do you have any idea when Banning will spray for mosquitoes?
I absolutely don't. But I know that they are
will?
doing it. They are doing it regularly. So
Oh, really?
if you are having a problem in your area, again, please call Andrea. She'd be more than happy to talk to you and tell you what they're doing. Okay, now for let's see, marketing. What am I doing here? Okay. Yes, our next Welcome Home is going to be October 17th, 5 o'clock in the ballroom. I will be sending you out another reminder. We have a new coupon book for our new homeowners, which includes coupons for the restaurant and lounge. I will have coupon books for those of your residents that did not get them last time because we ran out. So I will have them at the next Welcome Home, and you can give them to your people that didn't get them last time. I have given you the invitations, and I passed them out. I won't go over the stats. The stats are already there. But I did want to say this. Out of the 20 new homeowner survey cards that we had, 8 of them came for golf. 18 said a restaurant on site was important to them. 5 were still working. And the comments were, it is a clean community we can be proud of. The beauty of it, beautiful and well-maintained. Everyone seems friendly. And the last one was Fabian was a sweetheart. So I also put on here the new homeowners for the past 3 months for July, August, and September, and you can see each of the districts, how many you have, and that's how I came up with how many invitations I gave you. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for doing all that, and thank you for being the mosquito lady. Godspeed in your mission. Next would be David Keeley, here to tell us about next is EPAP with the shelter-in-place drill, and I believe that's Candace.
Good afternoon, delegates. I left a packet on your desks, and it includes a position and duties and sequence of events, which I'll go over with you. and what the actual active shooter drill, zone captain's duties, because I was requested to bring that, and then what will go in your EPAP bulletin, and I think you already have that. So the active shooter will be an individual that comes over the fence onto La Costa, right by the corner of La Costa and Wingfoot. And so if you don't know where that is, it's District 3, and it's in the condos in front right by the main gate. So this individual will come down La Costa, go between the condos, and get onto the golf course around hole 17 or 18, and then start shooting at individuals that are on the golf course. The police will be notified, pretend police. They will come and neutralize the individual, and the event will pretty much be over at that point. We anticipate it'll be about 15 minutes to half an hour for that entire part of the drill. So the sequence of events: on October 17th at 10:17 in the morning, the executive team will notify the EPAP coordinators, district delegates, administration, Securitas, and the radio communication team via text messages. We are activating the EOC. There is an active shooter, shelter in place, and they will be instructed to say this is a drill, so that everybody knows it is a drill. We will be initiating a virtual EOC, which is something we haven't done before, so this is going to be a practice for us to see how it works. We do not want any residents, volunteers, administrative workers, or contract workers in danger. Because of this, a drill only, Sun Lake's business will go on as usual. So once we receive a notification, we will activate the EOC, we will contact the EPAP coordinators and all of the others I mentioned. The EPAP coordinator will then text or call their zone captains. Shelter in place, we have an active shooter, this is a drill. All communication from this point on should be on the radios. There will be a notice on Channel 97 crawl that there is an active shooter in the community and that the residents should shelter in place. The EPAP Facebook, Sun Lakes EPAP, will post current information as we get it. Zone captains will then text or call their residents in their zones and tell them to shelter in place, that we have an active shooter, this is a drill. Securitas will shelter in place per their company policy. They will be in contact with the EOC via their radios. We have actors that will play the role of the police, the active shooter, and victims. The police will arrive and neutralize the suspect. They will then notify the EOC that the threat is over. The EPAP executive team will then contact the coordinators, district delegates, administration, and Securitas that the suspect has been neutralized and it is all clear to resume normal activity. The EPAP coordinators will then contact the zone captains and tell them there is an all clear. So that is basically the drill and how we're going to do it step by step. Do you have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Candace, I have
Yes.
a question.
Yes,
Zone captains are informing residents in their zone when we start,
yes,
when the all clear comes,
yes.
so twice.
I don't understand the question. So
Okay,
what?
Well, it starts, right?
They will notify them when it starts, and they will notify them when it is all clear. Once it is all clear, they can resume their normal activities. Securitas will then go to the site of the shooter and cordon it off and prevent unnecessary traffic from going in that area. But once we have said it's all clear, we can resume our normal activities.
So each zone captain is contacting residents in his zone twice.
Yes, that is correct, twice. Yes,
If I can just interject, Jim Nickel, District 3. this scenario happened about 2 months ago. My home was right there beside that wall. An individual came over, was chased by 3 police officers. The helicopter came over, and on a loudspeaker was telling everyone to stay in their homes. So we're based on that. It can happen, and obviously we've had practice. So just want to let everybody know that about 2 months ago. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Candace. And next on the schedule, David Keeley to talk about the new endowment for the Sun Lakes Charity.
Thank you, and I have provided information to you. It's a card. I won't cover every single word, but here's what the card looks like, and that can be used. There's a QR code on that, and you can go directly to make a contribution to the endowment. Over the last 12, 13 years, I've been involved in the charity and raising money and supporting charities in the greater San Gorgonio Pass area. And so there's going to be more than 24 charities that'll be receiving grant money on the 24th on the veranda at 5 o'clock. If you would like to attend, the charities will be here and they will receive an envelope with their grant based upon their requests and the amount of money that we have to give them. In 2016, we went through the charities that we had been giving money to, and we put them into 6 groups. The groups are hospital and healthcare, food and feeding, youth, education, meeting social needs, and arts. The meeting social needs are those charities that don't fit in one of the other categories. So looking at that, typically there's roughly 20% that goes to 3 of those categories, but the example would be the Memorial Hospital. Is this Ann that's here? A little segue to Carol's Kitchen, because in the food and feeding area, Carol's Kitchen is one of the charities that we have supported. In the training area would be the Little League, would be the Teen Center that's downtown Banning, San Gorgonio College, Faith in Action, Meeting Social Needs, and the Unforgettable Foundation. So the information is on the card that you have. I have additional information that I will get to Linda Vieira because she always asks a couple of little questions, and so there's additional information about how to give beyond this card. So I will be here afterwards and can give you additional information. I was asked, do we have an endowment over the years? And no, we didn't. This is not like the events that we use to raise money. And we are close to $20,000 that have been given to the endowment. It is professionally managed, you can see here, by the J.D. Stiefel Company. When it's $100,000, then we will give for training purposes to charities for them to train specifically the gain on that. So our goal is $100,000, and when we get there, we'll be able to give more money away. Thank you very much.
David, I have a quick question for you.
Are there a couple questions, David?
You're giving out grant money on the 24th, correct? Yes. At what time on the veranda?
5 o'clock on the veranda. This has been done for maybe 8 or 9 years here in the ballroom, and we really encourage, we want the residents to come in and see how their money is used. And the charities had a display, and they could meet them, and people could like the charities that they're talking to and volunteer. And we even added cookies and iced tea, and that didn't help get people out. So we're doing what we did before we came to the ballroom, and we are going to be meeting them and giving them their grant money. So it's 5 o'clock on the veranda. 5 o'clock veranda, Thursday the 24th. Another question? This is not in my 3 minutes. When we get to questions.
Just one quick question.
Okay.
How, if you know somebody or some organization, I should say, that needs it, how do you get in contact with you? How do you approach that?
How do people submit a request for a grant? Okay, the question is, how do you submit a request for a grant? First of all, in our charter with the IRS, in our tax exempt process, we give to nonprofits. So the first thing is somebody makes a grant to us if they are a nonprofit. We have a website, sunlakescharity.org. They can go to that website, and the application process is right on that website to receive a grant. We have a grant distribution committee that has met this week, and we have selected the information to present to the board of what the grant amount should be this year. Good questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Next, Ann Blair is here from Carol's Kitchen to tell us about what they're doing.
Good afternoon, district delegates. So I don't have anything prepared, but I'd like to tell you a little bit for the people who don't know about Carol's Kitchen. Thank you. Carol's Kitchen was formed in 1998 by Jim and Arlene Reagan in memory of their daughter Carol, who was tragically killed in a drunk driver accident. So we started in Banning with 34 people, giving 34 lunches out. And today we serve over 7,000 lunches each month. We also give out free clothing, household goods, and bags of groceries to take home. So we've grown a lot. We've been in the area 26 years now, and we appreciate all the help the Sun Lakes has given us over the years. And we're having we have 2 fundraisers each year, our bowling tournament and a comedy show. And this year, we're fortunate enough to have the comedy show right here in Sun Lakes. It's going to be next Friday, October 11th at 5 o'clock. And I'm asking all the district delegates if you would please post this on your newsletter so that everyone knows. We're encouraging everyone who can come to come. This is the flyer for it. It's called the Spooktacular. We're going to have a silent auction and a dinner. The dinner is going to be either tri-tip, chicken marsala, salmon, or a vegetarian. So you get to choose. And we have 4 comedians that are really funny and clean. So we encourage everyone, if you can come out, to please do. We would love to have you. And there's plenty of room. So please just see if you can encourage your people in your area, whatever it's called. I'm sorry. But if you can encourage them to buy a ticket and come, we would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Any questions for Ann? Okay, thank you, Ann. Moving to the next item, Rules Committee report. Chair Gail Billick has told me that she has nothing they have not met, so we'll move to the Affairs Committee report from Linda Spalding.
Thank you. We had, at the workshop, we reviewed the Code of Ethics and made changes. We included the Master Board's code that they sign when they are elected. And the point that I want to make is this is for future delegates. You all are doing such an amazing job, but we have to have guidelines. We don't know what the next generation or the next delegate is, who it's going to be. And so by having specific code of ethics and guidelines, we feel it's important for the delegate handbook. You all received a copy. I have not received any emails about changes or your thoughts. So I believe we are putting this to a, yes, Barbara?
Press hard.
I just noticed a couple of typos on it.
Oh, that would be amazing to give to me, because I was supposed to send it to Linda, and she didn't get it in time. So I really appreciate that, right? I didn't, so.
Okay, so.
Can we save that till new business?
Okay.
Or old business, I should say.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Are
Okay,
we-
thank you, Linda.
Call.
Oh,
Put your thing there.
Dolores Doherty, District 4. there are some of us that have comments about that, but we're being asked to wait until after, because I think, oh, I'm just gonna say it now. I think that we all need to attend the workshop to go over this draft that you have before we vote on it. And, because this says to adopt it, well, I think that we all need to talk about it. And all of these things that are in it should be explained to everybody, because I think there's some things that need to be changed.
Dolores, we did have the workshop.
I know, but you know
And-
that a lot of the delegates were not there, and now,
but
and now
how
this is your final draft, correct?
It is the final draft. But we
that's-
did have the workshop, and we did discuss this in detail, and we had, if you don't mind, Linda, who was totally against this, and we,
Oh,
and
thank you.
you are, but you came over. You understood it. It didn't have, you kept saying, I'm a nice person. And we know that you are a nice person, but you understood the concept. I'll put it that way.
Actually, Michelle, it wasn't the concept I understood.
I'm Linda.
Microphone, please.
I understand.
Linda could use a microphone.
I'm sorry. It isn't that I understand the concept. I understand that the majority is going to vote for it. And so I'm not going to fight it.
Thank you.
Not-
Any other comments on the chair
Yes,
report?
I do. Sorry. We are having a workshop tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
So why can't we all vote to all of us be present and discuss all of these?
Can we hold this until we get to that section of the agenda?
Go ahead.
Linda?
I'm very concerned about the meetings that we're having, that we're calling a workshop. It's actually like the executive session of the master board. And a lot of things get done. And it's not open to the public. And all of the delegates don't understand that they should be there. It's like a subcommittee is going to be running the delegate assembly. I feel very, very uncomfortable about that. And I think the delegate assembly should decide what is the legality of these workshops. And if they are going to be legal, then should the public be invited? Or I should say, should the public not be excluded? So that's all.
Linda, I'd like to tell you that the public has been invited. We published the agenda a week before. Anyone can come to the meeting. Anyone can come to the meeting. Yes, to the workshops. Anyone can come to the workshops. The only difference is we don't have comments at the end of the session for members. I have tried very hard to make sure that people have received information about what time these workshops are. You'll notice it's on the bottom of every agenda on future meetings. I think that there are certainly, I've sent summaries of what went on when I send out the delegate newsletter, and I'm not sure how much more communicative we could be about it. Everybody who's a delegate should go to delegate functions. That's part of what we do. Mike.
Yes, I'd just like to make a comment that the workshop is primarily to get things done where we can discuss things in the open. If you want us to tape it, I'm sure we could and put it out. But we're not going to get anywhere if we spend an hour every meeting discussing what we want to do and accomplish as the delegates. And I'd like to move past this so that we can take a vote. And we can, if we don't want it, we don't want it. If we want it, we want it, okay? A vote makes all the difference. So I'm for our workshops, and I'm for taking a vote one way or the other.
Are you making a motion, Mike?
I'd make a motion to vote at this time if you like.
And what exactly would the motion be for?
The motion would be accept the Ethics Committee's
We're early on that. Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming up in just a little bit.
Okay.
No, that's what he's asking.
He's asking this. There's no motion. There is no motion, no second. Anyone else have a comment on Linda's report from the Affairs Committee? Okay, we'll move to the next item on the agenda, which would be from the Food and Beverage Department. Eric Wenzel is here to tell us all about delicious things he's going to have for us and the fun events.
Okay, can everybody hear me? How about now? A little better? Good. Okay. So for the month of October, first, actually I'm just going to give my time to our new executive chef, Joshua Steves. I'd like to introduce him. Why don't you pop up? Let you guys pick his brain. You'll see our specials in the magazine.
Hello, delegates. Excited to be here. Can't wait to feed you guys some beautiful and delicious tasting food. Excited to see some of your ideas about how you'd like your restaurant run, and glad to be here.
Any questions for food and beverage? Okay, we'll move on to the Recreation Department. Maybe Mr. Ewalls has something he'd like to say.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Just bear with me here for a second. I'll go over some of the updates that we have coming up in Rec. These have all been put in the lifestyles. They're up on the website as well, just so you guys know, so that you're not speed writing down anything here. Again, if there's any questions at all, please let myself or Linda know. We're always willing to help and answer questions. So upcoming blood drive, October 10th. That's right around the corner. 1 week from today. We will have it 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. It will be in the multi-purpose room. There are flyers right out here at the lobby. You can simply just scan the QR code and you can make your reservation, or you can call the number that's on the flyer. Walk-ins are also accepted. It's just they always like to ask for appointments. Shredding Day, next Friday. Again, a popular event, 9 a.m., 12 p.m., right outside here behind the stage. As those of you that have participated before know, it's pretty much a drive-through service. Our monitors will help out. If you don't want to get out of your car, you don't have to get out of the car. We'll take it out and put it in the bin for you. Again, $5 per banker-sized box. Doesn't have to be a banker box, but something roughly that size. I always joke. I remember the first year I did it, somebody brought me a bin that was probably like this, and they're like, "Here's my $5." So again, just try to keep it to a banker-sized box. October 5th, 12th, and 19th are the district garage sales. Remember, these are closed to the public, with the exception of any of your invited guests. As always, gardeners, housekeepers, any of your vendors that you have are welcome to join in on that. We ask that once the time is up, please bring all of those items back into your garage so they're not left out on your porch or driveway. Halloween outdoor decorating contest. Last year we did one for the holidays, for Christmas. The Recreation Committee would like to do one for Halloween this time. It is going on right now as far as signups. The judging will start on the week of the 21st. So Rec Committee will be going out and looking at the homes that are decorated and judging, just like they did for the holiday one last year. We will have winners that will be announced on the 26th at the Halloween Doggy Parade. Those winners will then have signs that denote that they are either first, second, or third place placed on their lawn for the month of October. As remember, just that decorations still have to fall within the rules and regulations, so they have to be down by the 10th of November. With that, October 26th, like I led into, the Halloween Dog Parade. $6 to register your dog. It's always been a fun event to come out and watch the costumes that residents put their dogs in and watch them parade around. We will again have prizes for, I believe, scary, creative, and glamorous, or one of those renditions there. So make sure you come and check that out. That'll be 9 a.m. out on the driving range on the 26th. Like I said, once again, the winners for the holiday, or so the Halloween contest will be, the Halloween decorating contest will be announced that same day.
It's okay, let him go.
November 1st, couple more minutes, you guys, just 30 seconds, give me 30 seconds. November 1st and 2nd, Annual Craft Fair. This is a big event. We have 80 people, I believe. So we are going to be filling up the ballroom, filling up the bus room, possibly even the multi-purpose room. So it'll be a big full event. So make sure you come out and check it out. November 1st and 2nd. Remember, the lounge will be open at that time too. So come on, make it a day out of it. Two more things. November 9th, Veterans Walk. Registration has started already. There's flyers out, $25 per person. Remember, you get the t-shirt, continental breakfast, and then all proceeds go to support our local VFW. Over the past 10 years, we have raised over $50,000 to help our veterans in the local pass area. December 1st, district tree lighting. More details to follow on that, but we will be getting with you guys next month. Remember, we will be having the lottery as well as the families. So keep that in the back of your mind. Remember, it'll be next month. We will do that at this meeting here. Again, all trips and everything are located on the flyer rack right outside the lobby. As always, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Jason, question.
Yes, sir.
Regarding tree lighting.
Yes.
When are trees available for districts to pick up?
They will be available the week prior to Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Then, as always, they will be able to be up and decorated the day after, so the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Okay, and so on what day? Monday?
Now, honestly, yeah, it'll
Monday.
probably be that Monday, the week
Monday
prior.
prior to
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
we'll have them put in the bus room here as always, and you just come on down and either let us know. We'll either have zip ties tied to the boxes for you, or let us know. We'll have the zip ties for you. If you do need a new tree, please let us know ahead of time, either myself or Linda. That way we can get you on the list and get you a new tree.
Can we get bigger ones?
You guys, unfortunately, that's
Just kidding.
Unfortunately, that's where we're at with those. So, thank you.
Thank you. I'm not sure how giving of blood fits into recreation, but a community event. Thank you. Next, we have announcements from the Board of Directors.
All right, we got it now. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to, in essence of time, you've got a long agenda. I won't talk as fast as Jason, but I will go through my half of this quickly, and then Beverly will do the rest. The grand opening for the lounge had to be pushed back or postponed to the 30th. That will be the full grand opening on Wednesday, the 30th. On the 28th, we will be doing what we're going to call a soft opening by invitation only. It will be all the delegates and alternates are going to be invited, along with the board and anybody else that we end up doing. I'm not sure of the whole list, but so that's the thing. The main reason for the delay was delays in the inspections from the city, and on their inability to give us solid dates. So we had to just make one. They said it will happen within 2 weeks, and so we had to pick a time to get it all figured out. So that's that there. On September 10th, the Banning City Council voted to deny the Banning Point Warehouse project. That means it is done going to the council, but at this point, the developers can challenge that at the council. They could also challenge it in court as we did previously. So as the famous Yogi Berra said, it ain't over till it's over. And the board approved the elimination of house accounts, and Chris is going to spend some time on that in just a few minutes. On October 7th, which is this coming Monday at 10 a.m., we'll be having a budget town hall. We'll be working with the FAC, the PAC, which is the Procurement Advisory Committee, and the Financial Advisory Committee, of course, with the board. And that will be here in this room at 10 a.m. on Monday the 7th. The barbecue islands at the main pool had seen their last legs. Those have been replaced, and the plaster that was bad in the front has been taken care of. There's been some discussion about doing a kind of a hot dog and chip party. We have not solidified any dates on that yet, though. And if you didn't notice, we finally got our new tables. And that's it.
Yes, Carly from District 14. I was wondering, do the builders have a timeline to where they can still argue the decision?
Yeah, they have approximate, from what we can tell, if they were to take it to court and ask for a writ of mandate, which is what we did, they have 90 days from the decision. And if they go back to the city, they had 15 days to file. And that apparently has been filed doesn't necessarily mean it will go to a hearing or discussion.
Beverly?
I have a question.
Oh, Linda has a question.
Randy, I have questions on the House account. Do you want me to wait until Chris's?
Let me repeat what I said, Linda. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, Chris will handle it later.
Any more questions for Randy? Okay. As you guys know, the indoor pool has been closed by the county due to a complaint to the county, an inspection that they did. I guess the deck drains are not working properly. So Mark Schleiden is working on that. Unfortunately, it didn't come through us, so they went directly to, from what I understand, directly to the county, which then kind of puts a longer term on it to get the county back out to do the inspection once things are fixed. So bear with us. We're working, Mark is working with the county, trying to get them out here to look at the drains in the indoor pool and get it back open again. But it's 105 outside, so go enjoy the pools outside. If you see something that needs to be addressed, please use message through management. I know a lot of people are a little frustrated with that, but it goes to Jason. I'm going to lay the blame right there on him. He will respond to you. If you send something to message to management and you don't hear a response in a couple of days, send it to Jason. Please don't blast it out on Facebook. None of us read that. It's not going to do any good. All it does is stir the pot. So if you see something, please send it to message to management. If you're interested in volunteering for one of our 13 committees, the time is coming up. You can fill out a volunteer interest form and give it to Tammy Morgan. She's an admin. She's Chris's assistant. And get that to her this month. They're working on it. Part of the reason everything here is so successful is because of volunteers, just like all of you and all the volunteers that applied to work on the different committees. So there's a need there. If you want to get involved and have lots of meetings, come on down. Monday Night Football, back again. I know we didn't get it promoted out there as heavily as we did last year. I mean, last year, you couldn't open your eyes without seeing something about Monday night. But it's there. It's up and running. We've got a lot of fun stuff going on. We've had a couple of Monday nights with more than one game going, and we've been able to do that. We have Monday night specials on beer and wine. So please come down, enjoy the sandwich, and come watch Monday Night Football. And finally, in order to accommodate our working residents, FSR is now staying open every Monday night until 7 o'clock in the admin. What that does is allow people who are still working, who can't get in there during the day, to come in for limited administrative help. You can make appointments to get your transponders, you can ask questions, you can pick up files, you can pick up forms. So they're in there to help you out until 7 o'clock every Monday night. I don't know if a lot of people have been able to come down for that, so we're really trying to make sure everybody knows about it. And if you haven't put your delegate newsletter out yet, you might just put a little blurb in there to let people know that every Monday night until 7, you can go into admin and speak with one of our administrative helpers in there. That's all I have. Any questions? Thank you. Oh, wait.
Yeah, the question's about the South Clubhouse. I wasn't clear on what the reason you stated for the closure.
The closure is for, and Mark is here, let's let him talk about it. Yeah. Oh, Mark's going to talk about it under yours. So hang on one second, Mark, and we'll get that question answered for you, Mike.
I'm done, unless there's another question.
Any more questions for board representatives? Okay, next on the item, we're going to hear from administration.
I requestfully ask for an extension of time instead of 3 minutes,
Granted.
as this may take longer.
That's granted.
Perfect. Thank you. First, we're going to do the, let's get this going here. Okay, here we go. You should have on the TVs what Mark and Jason have done, putting this on so that the public can see this. I hope the delegates and the members like those TVs. Also, we have the TV here in the center. So just quickly talking about the lounge, target date is October 28th. Restaurant will open on November 1st. And as a reminder, Eric didn't remind you, but tomorrow is the Friday the 4th, and we are having National Beer and Pizza Day. Enjoy a selection of specialty flatbread pizza paired with a selection of local beers from Hangar 24 and Ritual Brewing Company. A flyer was emailed out through Hernan and the Good Day Sun Lakes team, so that you should have received that. Moving on to age verification, we've reached our 80%. I want to thank you, the delegates, members as a whole, and the board for their efforts. Okay, so let's start now with what is happening with the house accounts. So maybe there's an issue with how it was explained. Linda, thank you, because I know you're going to ask questions. So what's changing? December 1st, the ability to charge on a house account will end. So what are some of the changes? Well, there'll be no change to ID cards. You're still going to have to use your ID card. When you're a new homeowner, you're going to get an ID card. And also know you don't need to write notes. I'd rather have your attention and formulation of questions, as I have emailed my presentation to the chair and vice chair to email to you. I like doing that so that we have a dialogue instead of you writing notes frantically like it's a college course. No change to the monthly RV leases or golf memberships. That will still be billed. There'll still be the accounts in our POS system. No changes to the script process. You'll still be able to get that through the Pro Shop, still be able to use that in the Pro Shop. Instead of the options when you go to pay, it's going to be credit card or script. There'll be no house account. That's what's the change. There'll be no change on how after hours golfers are charged. Currently, they write down. They may have a house account, they may not. The ones that don't have a house account get invoiced. The ones that do are going to get invoiced as well in the future. And your annuals, they just mark it, you're an annual. So there'll be no change to that. So why make the change? Well, the issue is cash flow and staff time to collect those debts. Almost all members pay the house account with a credit card. They'll either pay it at the time of transaction, or they'll wait 30, 60 days and come in and pay with the credit card. It did nothing to move away, as it was previously designed back in 2019, to have people pay with checks on the house account. Majority pay with credit cards. I want points, so I'm going to use my credit card. So there's really no savings with the house account for checks versus credit card. With credit card transactions, the average time from the initial sale when you go into the restaurant and you buy your beer to when I get the cash in the account is 3 days. With a house account, Randy goes in, buys a beer, I will get that cash 30 to 45 days on average from the membership. There's that time difference. Sun Lakes, on average, must wait to collect about $150,000 each month due to house account system. Now, delinquent house accounts, if you're delinquent, you don't pay your house account, I can't put a lien on your account like we do with assessments. Rather, I have to take you to small claims court, which is another burden on staff, additional costs. So when we looked at what the changes would be, again, cash flow, staff time collecting, it really is a cash flow issue of I would like the cash sooner than later, instead of what has transpired over time is an interest-free loan. I think Gary Burkle has talked about that, the board treasurer. In his 2 years, he's also looked at this and said this is an issue. And so that is one of the changes. Nothing else changes on how you use your card, on other facets of the card system, POS system. It's simply the ability to have a house account charge. That's what's being eliminated. and I'll get to your questions after my presentation. So now I'd like to call up Mark to talk about what is going on with the South Clubhouse, because some say it's a gate, some say it was a Mars candy bar. There's a lot of things that we have to find out what happened at the South Clubhouse.
All right, thank you much. Real quick, so it started out as a report of a slip issue at the South Clubhouse pool deck. So the county had been contacted by a resident. They came out, they closed it. The closed citation stated it was a gate. That was incorrect. It was nothing to do with a gate. There is not a gate on site. Secondly, yesterday, myself, the Dell Tile consultant that sold the tile, Chris Mitchell, Jason, and myself met with the county. Once again, this all stems from a slip incident. We are going to present on the 10th of October to the county a product that we are going to install on the tile that's going to increase the coefficiency from 6.0 to 6.5 or greater, which exceeds the AMS standards. Our 6.0 now does exceed the American standards for pool decks. So we will wait and go through the process with the county. In the meantime, the main clubhouse pool will remain open beyond October 1st if necessary. And once again, I believe, as Beverly may have stated, if there's something out there, I've got big shoulders. Let me know ahead of time and we can jump on these matters. I'd prefer to have it face-to-face than around the back and blah, blah, blah. I'll leave it at that. Thanks. Yes. Linda.
Was the person who slipped all right? Did they fall?
Nice.
Perhaps we
I
need to
don't know.
talk about that.
Yeah, that's.
She just got bruised.
It's not, doesn't really pertain to what
That
we're
doesn't
talking
pertain
about.
to me, no.
Carly?
Yes.
Hi, Mark. Carly, District 14. I also understand that we had drainage issues, so are they going to work on correcting the drainage?
That will be addressed as well. That was not part of the citation.
Mike?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I go in the South Clubhouse partner every day. I don't want to sound like I'm griping or anything. It's a beautiful job. Everything looks great. Okay, I have two problems. One is who makes the decisions on the motif and the selection of, say, tile and things of that nature. Number two, who does the final inspection? And number three, the big one, I said two, but it's three. Okay, the reason we have a slip and fall, I don't believe, was due to the tile. I made calls to several people, including yourself. The humidifier did not work for the first 2 to 3 weeks that pool was open. There is nobody that goes into that pool. It's not your fault, Mark. I don't know who makes this, but I'll tell you right now, the conference room, taken care of beautifully. The tennis area, the hallway, library, cleaned up every day. The bathroom, cleaned up every day, okay? The gym looks okay. We take care of it ourselves pretty good. The pool, we need to hire somebody besides the guy that puts in the chemicals, all right? Because he does a wonderful job. The quality of the pool is excellent. But nobody and I've been saying this for over 3 years, probably over 5, that it's never cleaned. If you saw the pictures that Mr. Hobbs showed, that's a ongoing thing.
Let me
finish. And so the reason for the slip and fall, I don't believe was a tile. I think it looks great. I didn't slip on it until it got so dirty and filthy that it became slippery. And the lady fell and bruised her hips and legs and stuff. And we need, or the board needs, to get down to the bottom of this, or First Service needs to appoint somebody to clean that pool every day. They need water, sponge, maybe a mop, and you wouldn't have these issues, I don't believe. Thank you.
That was discussed in the past. It was brought up again this morning between Jason and Chris Mitchell and myself. There is going to be an increased cleaning schedule. The signage on the door is going to be changed as far as the cleaning schedule. There will be a shutdown period each day. So we will address this in a different manner going forward. And as I've stated to one and all, if you want to point fingers, point them at me, nobody else. Thank you. Any other questions? It was a number of us.
Can we use the microphones, please?
All right, thank you all.
Next, I'm going to have a clarification on club fundraising. This is a question. So Jason is going to, our resident legal counsel. I'm just
First
kidding.
off, just so you guys know, options are presented to the board with background, history, future, maintenance, all that stuff. The board ultimately makes a decision. The board did decide to go with that tile, which I think is a great thing. It takes your maintenance to a lot less than what the decking is every year. So that's what that is. Like Mark said, we'll address the issues we need to address. But it wasn't one person that makes a decision. It's a group, and it's called your board. So, moving on to your club and group district fundraisers. As we heard spoke by John Trakler a few months back, speaking with the ABC, they have allowed us to do some, not gambling, but kind of gambling. However, that's limited. It's limited to 50-50 in raffles, you guys. That is it. 50-50 raffles. It cannot extend to anything beyond that. You can't have a casino night. You can't have a bingo night. Nothing of those sorts there. All it can be is 50-50 and raffle. That's it. Any questions?
Define raffle.
It's your normal raffle. You can get, 10 for $5 or whatever, tickets. You can do that. That's what I mean by raffle.
All right, because I thought we could not.
Yes, we would prefer door prizes, but it is a raffle. We've been okay to say raffle. We've been allowed to do that, but obviously door prizes just is a cleaner way of saying it. But that's what is really limited to you guys, is just those things there.
So we could have gift baskets at our event, sell 10
Tickets.
for whatever, and draw. Okay.
Yep, as long as it's for your committee, your district, you're not promoting it outside of the community, or that funds isn't going outside of the community, that funds is for your district, you're okay. Where we get in trouble, you guys, is if we're doing, like I said, a casino night or a bingo night. Those you have to have gaming licenses for. Just like bingo we have in here on Tuesdays, we have a gaming license for bingo, okay? And we all know, again, past has taught us that it only takes one resident to say something to authorities, and we will be in big trouble. So again, if we can just keep it to that, I would appreciate it. Yes. Yeah, like charity, they go through the state of California and get their own permit. That's why they're also a 501c3, you guys. You guys are part of Sun Lakes Country Club or a 501c7. All right, so you're not a charitable organization, okay? So charity can do it. As I say, you pay the annual fees for the permits. Right. So if you guys can just keep it, again, just your fundraising to 50-50s and raffles, we won't have any issues. Any other questions? Yes.
Charlie, could you use the mic?
Oh, I don't care. It's monetary. It really comes down to monetary. You can't give cash for anything. Like, you can't have a buy-in, like bingo. You can't buy in for $5 into a game like bingo does here and say, come on, support us. We're fundraising, $5 buy-in with a $50 payout. We can't do that. Okay? Any kind of now, if you want to have bingo and say you're free to join and we're going to be giving away gift cards that the board of directors have given us for that, that's fine. It's just there cannot be monetary amounts connected to it, because that turns into a form of gambling, and the state does not look highly upon that. especially when we've had history in the past. Yes.
It's a little different. Let's say a restaurant wants to give us complimentary dinners and we auction them off.
Sure.
No problem with
Not a
that
problem.
as far as steering
Nope.
to certain restaurants?
Nope. No.
Okay.
That's why it's just strictly stay away from the actual paying for something and getting money in return if it's not a 50-50 or a door prize, a raffle.
Jason, if the raffle is to raffle a gift card.
That's fine.
It's okay.
Yep. Yep.
That's a very fine line.
Yeah, it is. It is. You got to remember, though, those gift cards were given to you by the board of directors here. So it's not like you went and cash exchanged or anything like that. It was given to you as a gift to give out to your members. So that's kind of the little bit of difference there. Yes.
What about football pools?
I would stay away from them.
Okay, but we could have a bingo night. We just can't charge for the bingo night, nor can we pay money out for
Correct.
the bingo night, but we could have prizes.
Yeah. I know, you guys, it's kind of convoluted a little bit, but you can have bingo as long as you're not charging for a buy-in and paying out in cash.
I'd say it's a gray area.
Yeah.
Ticket price for bingo just went up.
Any other questions? Again, if you are wanting to do something for your district, before you put it out there and promote everything, contact me. I'll go over it with you and kind of go through and say, yeah, this is good, no, it's not, or you need to change this to make it good, or whatnot. Okay? Thank you. Yes? It'll be just a second. Try it now, Mike.
Hello? Okay, just one simple question. If I wanted to be on a committee that looks after the South Clubhouse, because I'm there so frequently,
Okay.
what committee would
Common
that
Area
be?
Committee. Talk to Doug Swenson.
What is it?
Doug Swenson, he is the chair of the Common Area Committee. That's who you'd want to go to.
Thank you.
Okay, before I move on, Linda, you had a question regarding the house account.
I do. Weekly golf, what did you say, credit card every week, or we're going to get billed for that?
What do you, weekly or monthly? What are you
Weekly,
talking
like legs, I do not have an annual.
Mhm.
So if I play 2-3 times a week, is that going to go on my house account, or is
No.
that I have to put that on a credit card?
Credit card.
So then that brings up credit card fees. How are we going to get charged a credit card fee for using the credit card?
No. Yeah, the association will, not you as the individual.
So you're going to get charged?
Right, which
And you're
we're-
not pushing that off on us?
No, because that has always been historically, the association absorbs it, either at the time of the transaction or the time that you would pay your house account.
Okay, because I've had those 2 questions asked because people were saying, like, if I have a drink in the lounge, you have to close that account in the lounge before you can go to the restaurant. And so they didn't want to get a credit card fee twice.
But they, when you think about it, whether it's separate, they're charging on the total transaction total. So the credit card fee twice or once is still going to be the same fee. You're not.
But you're just telling me now we don't have to worry about a credit card fee, so that's fine.
You're not paying that. We're not passing that along to the residents. It is absorbed in the association's budget.
Okay, and have you looked at a Sun Lakes credit card that we could all apply for? I don't know if there's any benefit to the association for that.
Yes, there's a Chinese firm that would love to get your social security
They
number and
want-
everything. No, we have not done that. I don't want to keep credit cards on file. One of the questions is, hey, keep it on file. The reason we use a third-party credit card processor is that risk, that liability goes on to the credit card processor to collect your credit card number, to process the transaction. I don't want to keep that. We don't keep your social security numbers. We don't keep your credit card numbers. We don't want to get in that business because that is a whole can of worms with not only electronic items that you have to do for going through for process. We don't want to mess with that. So we're not going to get a Sun Lakes credit card. You have to use your own credit card. There's some great credit cards out there that give you rewards. That's on the member.
Okay, we do a delegate who was asked for her credit card to keep on file for her house account. I don't know when that happened. I don't ever remember that happening, but it did happen to her. But you're saying we don't do that.
We don't do that, so please have them come see me. Yes, sir.
It seems to me that you're punishing everybody that pays their account on time for the few people that abuse that privilege, Can't we go after the few people, or do you know how many are not paying in 6 or 30 days?
But I think it's twofold, Charlie. It's one, it's in 3 days I get the money, the revenue. Right now, we're waiting 30 days at a minimum for that money to come in. So there's a cash flow issue that's occurring. That's one of the biggest things. The secondary thing is when you look at it and say, well, how many invoices are mailed out? The cost of postage is going up, cost of time to then seal all those envelopes. There's a cost to that the board looked at as well. And I think there is a few that, yes, if we're going to pursue them, well, you can cut them off, and then if they don't pay, then I have to take them to small claims. That's additional court fees, time and effort to do that. So what it comes down, the main issue is really cash flow of, I get it within 3 days of the transaction completing rather than a minimum of 30. That's the real nut of this. Yes, ma'am.
For clubs that get a monthly billing, will that continue?
So that is the one area we're looking at working with, because the clubs would like to write checks rather than a credit card. And so that we would work with the billing for, I know Arlene's Breakfast, or if they're doing a whole thing, the clubs, we would still bill the club for that event. Yes, Jason?
It works just like a BEO in a private party. You get invoiced for that party, you have to pay with a check.
So it's just like the BEO for a private party, you would pay by the check. Since I know Cal's going to say, please use the microphone, Jason. So yeah, we will accommodate the clubs that way, just like we would if you were having something in the restaurant, just like the BEOs. Yes, ma'am.
Carly, District 14. Okay, one reason you moved into Sun Lakes because it was a country club atmosphere. And part of the country club atmosphere is having a house account. But because now we have a cash flow problem, we're taking away the cash account, our house account. And if there was a problem, why wasn't it dealt with earlier? Because you've had house accounts in Sun Lakes for years. So my question is, why did it take so long to deal with the people who have not been paying their account?
Well, we would take care of the people that wouldn't pay the account. Again, it comes down to, when you look at it from a business aspect, as part of the business plan that's been distributed, is how quickly can we get that cash? How can we reduce the time and effort of staff? Since I am reducing staff levels, that's been a budget thing that's been going on, we're asking more duties on our staff for less staff. And the time and effort to send out all these bills, then to call, everyone please pay, and then the next step for legal action, that's part B. The main issue is getting the cash in as soon as possible for our operations. Yes, it was different before the pandemic. There wasn't that much. I wasn't carrying 150,000. If you look back at the records, it wasn't 150,000 that we carried. And then the pandemic, we didn't do any business with, business was cut down. Afterwards, those have just shot up. And so we're trying to get ahead of it. I think if you've heard me talk about through the budget, you'll hear me talk on Monday, but also is we're seeing delinquencies rising up. This is kind of a proactive effort as well to say, hey, we're not going to have that issue on our house accounts. They need to pay at the time of service. So that's another change that we're doing. Unfortunately, what we're seeing in the assessment accounts are more delinquencies. We don't want that to trickle down to the house accounts as well. Linda, you already asked one question, but I'll
Just clarification. Most districts have a house account to pay for events that we have. Are we still going to be able to charge?
So we're going to do
those?
that, treat it like a BEO, like as Jason
Okay,
said.
so-
We're treating it like it's an event. You're going to go into the restaurant and say, Letty, I'm going to have this event there. It's going to be handled BEO. They'll say, hey, please put a deposit down, et cetera. It's going to be handled that way.
All right, thank you.
Yes. I'll come back to you, Linda. Yes, ma'am.
Kate Reed, District 20. What kind of a fee is the association paying for all of us to use our Visa cards? I know that recently the trash department has said they will charge a fee if you use your credit card. They want to dip into your account, your bank account, and get the money. And the city of Banning also is charging a fee beginning shortly if you use your credit card. So what kind of money is the association putting out and being charged fees for all of these credit card accounts?
It's average about 3% of the transaction, but we're already paying that. We've already been absorbing, it's already budget. It's a line item under administration, so we've already done that. Also, I would look at it to say I wouldn't want to charge a credit card fee when you're limited to paying a credit card only. So I would recommend that we not do that. It's already absorbed in the budget and it's averaging about 3%.
Which is, it seems it's going to go up because now we're only going to be using credit
Not
cards.
necessarily, because as I said in my presentation, you already have over 90% of the people paying. Instead of paying at the time of transaction, they get their invoice from Monica, they come in, please put on my credit card, or they're going on the app and paying by the credit card. When I started seeing more transactions, the original thing way back when under Sandy Moyer was, hey, those house accounts were going to pay by check. People started getting away from checks because I can get my Costco card or I can get my airline miles or whatever. They're utilizing credit cards. The world has moved toward that. So the credit card, you shouldn't see that much change because the majority of members have already migrated to using credit cards.
Additionally, I said, well, I was just being snotty. I just want you to go ahead and give me a paper bill. And they said, oh, yes, you can have that, but there is a courtesy fee for that as well. So they're going to, because I said, fine, you want to charge me a fee for my credit card, send me a bill, and you got to pay the postage. No. So we send out all of these invoices. And again, we have postage, we have time, we have people involved. So is that going to continue?
No, so that's one of the things I also put in, said that the staff time should go down on this. Your postage, which is 70 cents or 70 something, will go down because now so our supplies and everything will go down. That was presented to the board as well as saving on staff, but supplies and postage, because now we're not sending out 500 bills, it comes down greatly. So again, we're trying to find ways with the limited staff, how can we do more customer service meeting face-to-face and saying, I'm sorry, instead of saying, I'm sorry, that person is unavailable, trying to give more staff time back to customer service rather than processing.
Thank you.
Linda Vieira was first. Sorry, Jean.
We live in a remarkable place. Our community is a fantastic place. And I think Joe Firmino was the one who said it's we the people in the beginning that brings people here and keeps people here and makes neighbors friendly and districts friendly. And I realize that there are many changes that are coming down the pike. And a lot of it has to do with changes that we're doing here in the Delegate Assembly, changes that the board is planning on doing, and changes that FSR is trying to do to save money. And this
Not
is,
FSR, it would be a board-approved action, Linda. Let's correct that. Just as Jason said, the board approves.
That's perfect.
There's a lot of misconception that Mr. Mitchell is controlling everything behind the scenes. That's not true.
Oh, no, I don't mean that at all, Chris. I mean that your company is trying to get the most they can, the biggest bang from the buck, I guess. And
First Service doesn't have anything to do with credit card transactions, billing.
Chris, you're misunderstanding me.
But I'm using the words that you're saying.
Okay, here. What I want to say is there is a line between business and lifestyle. It may be a business to your company, but it's our lifestyle. And we appreciate the little things. And the house account happens to be one of those little things. And I think that when you make these changes because you're looking at in a business-like way, you need to keep at the top that this is a lifestyle for us. This is why we moved here, not just because it's a neighborhood. It's a lifestyle. So just just look at the decisions that you're making, that all of us are making, that have more to do with the people here than running it.
Before you go, Gene, I just wanted to say that Chris is absolutely correct. It is the board to do it. And Linda, you're right. Lifestyle is what many of us bought into. Unfortunately, we have a growing percentage. It may still be a small percentage, it may be a mid percentage, it may be a big percentage that don't have that philosophy. We're hearing about what we're doing wrong. We're hearing that we didn't pick up a leaf, we need to spend more money. You know, I'm being sarcastic, obviously. So we hear both sides of it. And as a board, and I'm not making excuses, I'm saying we do try to find the balance. I agree, lifestyle is the key, but I see our percentage of people that aren't in it for the lifestyle, they're in it for the cheap lifestyle. And we're hearing more and more from them. And that's all I wanted to add.
Jean.
Jane Dobson, District 10. I'm wondering if during this period of time when it was realized that there was $150,000-$80,000 floating out there that was owed to us, was there any consideration for cutting off those offenders? Because I would bet you anything that those offenders would have had a credit card in their pocket to pay for that alcohol or dinner or whatever.
There is, and that happens after 60 days, and then a hearing, and then small claims court. But I think the real issue is before that, Gene, is that it takes 30 to 45 days after a transaction to collect that money. That's really the issue, that the time, all those information, all the billing that goes at the end of the month, there's a time lag. And if you're treating like a business, in which a lot of members, and Linda, it might be a minority, as you said, but a lot of it are judging on what's the bottom line and how to improve the bottom line rather than an amenity. There's some decisions that are going to have to be made, and this is one for cash flow, for efficiencies, that is a change that is needed. Yes, ma'am.
Just to make a comment on that, Jane, because I think there's a misunderstanding. This $150,000 is not people who are late. It's every single one of us. I go into the pro shop November 1st. I buy a club for $150. Then I go have lunch and drinks in the Sandwich, spend another $50. That sits on the house account until the end of November. Cannot be accessed by anybody. It just sits there. Then I get billed at the end of November. And I have 30 days to pay that $200, and I'm not late. So it sits there. Like Chris said, 30 to 45 to 60 days. We can't touch it. And I'm not late. So it's not the people who are late, it's every single one of us who uses a house account. And I think there's a misunderstanding there.
That's true. That's great. That's why you're the better communicator. Yes, Linda.
Linda Spalding, District 17. On the app, it shows your charges. Is that printable from the computer, so you can just go up and print that? Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. The answer is yes for the viewers on TV. Yes.
Chris, I'd like to know if it's possible I assume that since nobody's going to get a summary and a bill, that those charges just kind of disappear and you're getting your bill from Visa or MasterCard. Is it possible to get a history if someone should need it for whatever purpose?
Yes, because we're still using those cards. There still is a way, my understanding is when it's tagged to you. That's why the cards aren't going away. I have to prove that you're a member. That helps us with state of California on other subjects. But you still would be able to go in and say, hey, what the heck did I order? And you will be able to get, here's the invoices that were charged to your card number. So yes, you'll be able to get that.
Good.
Okay, now I just need to continue my presentation quickly, and I will be Cal, I will hurry because I know the members. So I just want to give you, the delegates, a quick update on the budget process. Let's see here. Okay, I don't want that. I'd love to have. There we go. Okay, this is just a quick update. I will go fast, like Jason was speeding through. I will speed through this. Just a quick budget presentation. The budget process started June 2024. The board has reviewed the operating and repair and replacement planned expenditures. The board will be hosting, and it's key, the board will be hosting a budget workshop on Monday, October 7th, here at 10 a.m., as Beverly had said. Some of the board directives: keep the assessments as realistic as possible with focus on cost, benefit, and on future projects. Increase cash in the operating fund. Maintain amenity quality and availability and realistic budgets for all departments. Develop ways to increase golf revenues with Director of Golf Operations. Maximize investment income revenue. Obtain input from utility providers for projected rate increases. Assess progress of the 5-year tree trimming and pavement plan for budget reserve impacts. What scheduled projects can be deferred? Number 9, develop proposed cost for golf course irrigation replacement on both golf courses. Review and prioritize the Master Board of Directors' revenue enhancing and cost reducing proposals. Focus on projects utilizing capital improvement funds. Assess anticipated revenue derived from the reserve replenishment assessment. Target a realistic reserve percentage for the reserve fund. Develop ways to reduce losses and increase revenue in the food and beverage operation. Commence renegotiation with Spectrum, and finally, budget for anticipated minimum wage increases. So that was the directives that was provided by the board when management then developed a budget and presented that to the board, and that will be discussed on Monday, the 7th, here at 10. So this is, you'll see this during the budget meeting. This is the format I like to present, not giving away what potentially the annual subsidy is, because the assessment is not determined until the board votes on it on October 23rd in the open session. This is a keynote that I always present. In the last 14 budget periods from 2011 to 2024, there are 6 instances where the assessment was raised less than 3% or did not increase at all. That's a high percentage. So the final evaluation will be taking place. Well, not the final. There will be, I'm sure, some more discussion. But feedback will occur from the workshop, from the board, from the Finance Advisory Committee, from the Procurement Advisory Committee. If members at that time say, hey, I've got a great question or a great idea, please send that to message to management. And then after the board workshop, the budget will be placed on the open session agenda on October 23rd. That will have the golf rates. It will have the assessment rate for the new year. It will also have a calendar. The calendar for recreation and golf will happen in November. I apologize. So it will be the assessment and the golf rates. And with that, so look forward to seeing you on Monday if you're going to be here, or at an upcoming meeting with the board.
Thank you, Chris.
There's really not a question. You have to wait till Monday. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, Linda Spalding from District 17.
Don't be sorry.
Has the master board looked at, and I know Beverly hates this terminology, the use it or lose it fee. It's time. And if we were all charged $25 a month, that's almost $1 million a year. It's time to start treating Sun Lakes like the business it is. I know we're social, Linda, but $25, right now you're getting $15 and we don't get anything in return. At least for $25, we'd get a meal or maybe one drink or two.
The board is considering that. That will be probably one topic that is on the discussion for Monday's workshop. I hope you'll be there.
With my list.
That's fine.
And this will be on Channel 97?
Will it be taped live or is it recorded? I think it's going to be recorded to play later. Oh, I'm sorry, it will be live. And I'll send you a personal CD so you can watch it.
We will be live, and it will be recorded on Channel 97.
Thank you, Edanan.
See you Monday.
That completes my long report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, we're going to move to district delegate comments, and we're going to go reverse order, top down. So we'll start with Charlie in District 23.
It's Greenwood. No, okay, there we go. My concern is I put my newsletter out and had it distributed yesterday, and I will not be able to put any of your October announcements in it. So is there a way to get these announcements to us delegates and to Lithopath in a more timely manner than has been happening in the past? Because all of us delegates complain about not having this information, and we put our own information into it, what we think is right, then all of a sudden we get these announcements from the board that are contradictory to what we've told our residents.
Charlie,
You're talking about the message from the board that Beverly and I read off of. Is that correct?
Well, we passed these out today. I got mine at Lithopath.
We didn't pass anything out today.
But this information, some of it's going to expire.
Yeah, I don't know what that is you have, Charlie.
Okay, you're calling it the October Master Board announcements. We should be getting these prior.
I
to
don't
our
even know what
newsletters.
document that is. No, it's different.
Charlie, let me intercede for just a second. I sent out
already
the
said-
message from the board.
Okay, it does say message from the master board. That was what I asked. I'm sorry. Yes, Michelle, when does that normally get sent to the delegates? Because I know you handle it through Bob, I thought.
No.
Who said, okay, Tammy.
Randy.
Tammy
I got this one from
Randy.
I got this one from Lithopath and from Jason. Yes, on Tuesday.
Yeah, we send it directly to Lithopath as soon as it's ready, and the previous instructions were it should not, your newsletter should not go until Lithopath has it in their hands.
Okay, but we're still trying to get this out in a timely manner. So they got it on the 2nd.
Okay.
And those are automatically attached to your newsletter.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you wait until they have it. So if you are trying to get your newsletter out before the 1st, there's a possibility they may not have it yet.
Right.
It's not, as soon as that board meeting happens Wednesday night, it's not just boom, created just like that and shows up Thursday. It takes the board a couple of, okay, this is what we're going to put in there, this is what we're going to write. They send it to me, say, okay, can you review, just make sure everything's correct on here. Once I do that, I send it back to them. They get it approved by the board. Then he says, okay, here's the final. Please send it to the printers. That takes a few days. I got it on Monday. I sent it to the printers on Monday.
Okay, but when do we get a copy of this as delegates?
Charlie.
I believe I sent it to Cal Monday too when I got it.
Charlie, I got it on Monday, and everybody got it on Tuesday. Send it out in email. Check your email
Okay.
if you haven't seen it. That
And
may be where you
in the
got
past,
copy.
Charlie, I will acknowledge it wasn't always as efficient as it is right now.
Okay,
So-
But again,
it's something that we can improve on. My district is running along fine. I don't have any complaints over there. We're enjoying what we do. We collect cans and we give money to charities.
Yep.
And we're having a party coming up on the remainder of this month. So we're very happy in our district. I'm very proud of the people there. Thank you.
Good.
That's why has been asked in the past for delegates to wait until this meeting to put their newsletters out.
I just want to, I'm sorry, Cal, this is out of order. I do apologize. But to just finish on I'd received some emails. They were asking for background about Josh that none was given. So I just want to let you know that there will be an interview done on Channel 97 talking about the new executive chef. We'll either probably will be Anita or it's going to be someone else that does the interview, welcoming him on Channel 97. So you'll have more background at that point. Again, public service announcement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Voles, District 22. I think this is a great meeting so far. We've got a lot of information out, a lot of answers to questions we've had. And District 22 is going to have a pizza party on the 17th, Saturday, I believe it is. And all are welcome. The pizza's entry is only $2. So let us know and give District 22 a call myself if you wish to abide. Thank you.
Kate Reed, District 20, no comments.
Marcia Midget, District 19, working on Fill the Cupboard this month, so we're looking forward to taking lots of good stuff to the senior center.
Anita, excuse me, Anita Lawrence, District 18. Districts 18, 12, and 8 will be having a fall district dinner next Friday, the 11th. It's going to have a fall-inspired menu, door prizes, and 50-50. We still have some seats available. So if you would like to attend, get your reservation in by tomorrow. We need to contact the caterer. You could send it to District 12, District 18, or District 8. Where's the dinner? It's going to be at the South Clubhouse on Friday. Winter Wish Program, I'm sending out my request for donations in my October newsletter. That way, I'll have some kind of idea of the money that we will have so that we know if we can support one family or maybe two families in making Christmas a little bit brighter for families that need some assistance. And just so you know, Cal, I did not get that email. I believe Marcia did not get it either with the information about the board's notes.
My apologies. My apologies. I'll check. I'm pretty sure it went, though.
And that's all I have.
Greg Voico, District 16. We just finished Fill the Cupboard. We collected enough stuff to just about entirely fill the back end of a standard pickup truck. I put a request for donations in my newsletter at the beginning of the month, and halfway through the month, I only received one bag of groceries, so I put out another flyer, stuck it in everybody's cubby under their mailbox, and got a ton of donations. At this point, I'm really happy to have my garage back. As far as age verification is concerned, we had 34 homes that didn't report. I went home right away and distributed lists and green forms to all my zone captains. They did a famous job. We managed to flip 16 of those. I've got great volunteers in 16. And one of the 5 derelict homes in District 16 is currently for sale. It went pending briefly, and now it's back for sale again. So hope to see some progress on that. 1 down, 4 to go.
B. Mercado, District 15. We recently had our first get-together on September 24th in the North Clubhouse. We had over 50 attendees, neighbors who came and participated. It was amazing as to the level of energy, the excitement for them to get together, see their neighbors, talk with people they hadn't seen or spoken with for a while. We had some great food from the Taco Man and lots of leftovers. We were also participating through missing our assignment for Fill the Cupboard in July. They more than made up with it since we went together with District 17 when they took their donations. People brought cans to my house and dropped them off when they were RSVPing for the party, and it was wonderful to see their donations piling up, and so we joined in with District 17 to deliver those with the senior citizens in Beaumont, Banning. I'm very proud of my district. They're coming along, and I have some volunteers to fall back on, and we're looking forward to their exceeding their participation. So thank you very much.
Hi, Carly Beeks, District 14. We had our Oktoberfest party yesterday, and we invited District 9, and we had a wonderful time. We had about 63 residents, and now we are getting ready for our shelter in place drill. I met with the EPAP team, and we went through our bin and had it all updated, so now we're ready for that. And I'm also having the zone captains and the EPAP team to my house so we can train it so everybody will be on board what's going to happen. But I do have a question for Chris and, okay, so it's Randy, no Bob. Okay, District 14 residents are very concerned because we have some empty homes. I think we all have empty homes in our districts. And we understand that there's 5 homes that the HOA owns. And one of those homes is in our district. And our question is, because we have the sign on the door and it says that it's owned and managed by Sun Lakes. This home has been emptied for 8 years and nothing has happened. So our question is, what can we do about it? Because that's income we think the HOA could make if we sell it or rent it or. So my question is, go for it, Chris.
Okay, so as I've talked about, I think for the last 4 years about this, we foreclosed on those homes on the 2nd. There still is a first on that. And in most cases, the houses that have been foreclosed upon by the association were reverse mortgage properties, guaranteed by the Housing and Urban Development, HUD. In 2021, we coordinated with real estate agents and HUD asking to do short sales on these properties. HUD said they will never do short sales, that the taxpayer must be made whole. So from that point on, the board has discussed that and said, yes, let's move forward. They received a legal opinion. I think I talked about this at an open session, maybe, I can't remember, but the board received a legal opinion that they could, instead of selling, since we can't sell it, rent the properties out and recover income from that. So we have done an analysis of some of the homes. We are ready to move forward, and we received, when going to, just like if you have rental properties, you go to the city and say, hey, here's the deed. I'd like to turn on the power and water so I can start watering that grass. We received a notice on all of them that said, please file for a building permit for this. Our question was, is that how City of Banning treats landlords who want to rent property? I have to get a building permit for it? And we went through several layers of staff and all said, yes, you have to get a building permit. So I know there are residents here that have rental properties. They've never had to get building permits, so I don't know if there was unequitable treatment, but I'll leave that to the side. We have scheduled a meeting with the City of Banning. I've been trying to schedule that. We have a meeting coming up, and we're going to ask them, I've got some houses I'd love to put new carpet in, put in some sod, paint, no structural problems, and I'd like to rent these. Why do I need a building permit? And that's what we've been faced for the past 3 months of trying to resolve this issue. So, ultimate goal is I need power and electricity so I can start watering all of that. Some of the houses are going to be rented. Some, the board will have to make a decision, a business decision, if it's worth investing funds into that when the return on that investment may not pan out. And so I can't promise that all of them are going to be rented. Out of the 10, there are some that are still in good shape that we can. So we are trying to do that. That was actually involved in the budget process. There's some money set aside to do that. So we are moving toward that. We just have to right now get through a hurdle of, and I've never had to have a building permit for turning on utilities. But again, we hope to get a resolution with that with the City of Banning.
Okay, that's better than nothing at all.
No, and Greg saw me out there going through the houses, identifying which ones can X amount of dollars go into it, what's the rate of return, because there's a timeline as well that we have to meet. And those have been under evaluation. The problem is I can't do a full evaluation of the HVAC systems and everything until I have power.
Right.
And that's the problem that for some reason, the city is holding us up. Hope to have a resolution, and maybe you can ask the question at the next one in November to see if we got resolution on that.
Thank you.
Some months ago, there was a mention made at an open session about a 90-day cycle. It might have been Chris who mentioned it, might have been Bob who mentioned it, I don't recall. I brought it up at this forum, and right away was told, get information about those houses to us. My hat's off to Chris, Jason, and Mark for getting right on that. So I don't know if that HUD house is for sale had anything to do with that. Let's hope it did, and let's hope we've got some momentum going now.
That's the problem when we're dealing with HUD. There's just some delays. Yes.
Patty Lopez, District 11. I have no comments.
Jean Dobson, District 10. We have a fall Italian district dinner next Wednesday at the South Clubhouse. Our fourth quarter Fairway Villas open board meeting is October 15th in the multipurpose room. I have 7 new residents for the welcome home dinner on October 17th. And I have a question. In the September Lifestyles, the Delegate Assembly article stated, I quote, "Delegates dedicate considerable time, a portion of their bank account, and a large part of their garage just to make the place in which we live better," end quote. I fear I'm remiss in my duties as a delegate because I don't know about the use of my bank account. So for my benefit and perhaps the other delegates, could somebody explain the use of my bank account and
Jean,
what it's for?
I wrote that article, Jean, and I'm sure that everybody who's been a delegate for more than 5 minutes has contributed something to their district out of their house, whether it's pages from the printer, ink cartridges, whatever it is that you can't really, you just give it to the district. And that's all I'm talking about. Nobody actually ties their bank account from the district.
So there's no requirement, no rules, no specifications?
No, I was trying to empathize with y'all. I'm sorry if I missed the mark, but I was just trying to empathize.
Thanks for the clarification.
Linda Vieira, District 9. I'd like to say thank you so much to Carly Beeks and Robin Niemeyer in District 14 for inviting us and putting on such a fantastic potluck. It was just wonderful. And they didn't have entertainment. It was very inexpensive, and it was they played some games that were very funny. No, it wasn't expensive at all. No, it wasn't expensive at all. And I want to thank you so much. We had such a good time. Oh. Excuse me, but it has arose in our district the suggestion that one of our residents is being taken advantage of, and there are homeless people living in his house. And I know his next door neighbor spoke to Chris, spoke to Condoleezza, called Adult Protective Services, and I went over there and talked to the person who said he was a caregiver. And I mean, I'm a delegate. I'm just a person. I don't know how to handle something like this. Are you aware of what I'm talking about, Chris?
We are, and we are dealing with it within the powers that the association has and through law enforcement and other government entities to address this. That's all I can, because it's also a private matter. Like Linda, I wouldn't talk about your personal items to the public. We can say we're addressing it, we are aware of it, it is a hot topic on our plate, #1 issue. But there are limitations of, we can't kick people out, I can't prohibit people from coming in if they're on a guest list. These are issues we are working on. We are highly aware of this.
Kathy Aldergette, District 8. I have no comment.
Gail Billick, District 7. We are having to postpone our hoedown that we had planned for this Sunday because it's going to be too hot to have a block party from 4 to 7 outside. But I want to thank my social committee online here that they did a fabulous job getting ready for it. It will be a big success when it comes together, when the weather's more appropriate for it. So thank you.
Dave Miller, District 5. On October 17th, we've got a fall meet and greet event along with Loretta's District, District 2. We're looking forward to that. And as far as the age verification, I'm really proud of our district. We got just a tick under 93% of people turning in their forms. So we're really proud of you. Thanks, District 5.
Dolores Doherty, District 4. Myself and one of my friends who happens to be my EPAP coordinator as well as zone captain put on an English tea for several of the ladies that live alone in my district. I'm sure you all have these where they live by themselves and they don't get out much. And this was our way of allowing them to get to know other women in the same situation and hopefully build some friendships from that. That's all I have. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Jim Nickel, District 3. I just wanted to, first thing is compliment Michelle on the awareness. On Tuesday, it was an excellent presentation, informative. I watched it on 97 due to the 100-degree temperature, but I encourage everyone to watch that program. It can't be any more informative and very well done. Thank you so much. The other item I has, we had an Italian dinner, South Clubhouse, and it was attended by 46 people. We had a great time. Italian theme, music, singing. I dressed up with a mustache, my entertainment committee. We had an Italian quiz. We had Italian bingo. Everybody loved it. It was just a super time. So my next event coming up is December 3rd, South Clubhouse for Christmas. So thank you.
Loretta Kuzar, District 2, and I can hardly wait for dessert night. So that's what we have coming up for District 2 and 4.
Barbara Elness, District 1. We don't really have too much going on in our district. It's pretty small, but I did get a pretty good cooperation from the age verification survey after I sent out the green forms we were given, and so I appreciate my residents for stepping up. Thanks.
Linda Spalding, District 17. We had a wine and cheese event, and your admission was a bag of groceries. And we had about 75 bags of groceries, and so that was really a good event. Whoever mentioned that or recommended that, thank you, because it was really amazing. Now I have a couple of questions. The age verification forms, in our documents, it states that if you do not sign an age verification form, that the master board can administer sanctions, including but not limited to suspensions of amenity, voting privileges, or monetary fines. I know for a fact I have a resident in my district that has never, in the 20 years I've lived here, signed an age verification form. It seems we reach our 80% and then we say, okay, everybody else gets a pass. I think there should be a $200 fee assigned to age. You can adjust it if you want, but over 20 years, you should be paying $200. That's $92,000 if every district had 20 people who did not sign that. You gonna jump on that?
Well, I'm just going to say, you have 2 board members here. I'm sure they'll consider it. That would be a board directive.
Do you need a recommendation from the delegate assembly?
You can, but I would say I will leave I will not say any comments. Sometimes it's just better not to say anything. So if the delegates would like to make a recommendation to the board, that is certainly possible.
It's just gone on for so many years that we've never, we've always, and we've said it today, and Jason's shaking his head, we're at 80%, we're good. you know. So I just think we need money. Well, every 2 years you could have 100,000, you know.
We try not to build budgets on fines and everything. That's all I'm going to say. Someone like to say?
Oh.
No, Linda, you're absolutely correct. In the past, we just got to get to that 80, got to get to that 80. And I'll tell you, we reached 80 this year faster than the past 5 that I've been a part of. So I'm happy to see that. However, I would ask that you guys keep on those that have not turned them in. And this is the reason why. If you notice, there's different things that have been added to the form this year than we've had in the past, like the opt-outs, as well as the emergency cell numbers, as well as the email addresses. This is documentation and items that we do not have as association. A lot of times when you come in as a resident, they leave that off. They don't fill it out. They don't want to give you their personal cell phone, or they don't want emails because they don't want it out everywhere. That's what this did here. So this allowed you to opt in or out and allowed you to put down an email or a cell phone number, something that we don't have. Now, what we have done is we have now an Excel spreadsheet that has all that on there. So once all this is done, we're going to be able to pull that. Anybody who has said, sure, use my email address for association or delegate or anything, that's going to allow us to populate that and give it to you as delegates. So it's vital information that we have never had in the past, and this is the best way for us to try to get it. So I ask, even though we are at the 80%, if you can still try to get those residents that you know haven't turned them in and turn them in, that would be great.
You'll get the list, Linda.
Okay, I appreciate that. Question, rumor. I really don't like rumors, but I'm going to ask you to say if it's true or not. But are you removing the dinner buffet from bingo nights? Okay, I'll let you answer.
No, not at this time. I think what we're looking at is how can we incorporate the new lounge and what offerings can we do for bingo and residents on that Tuesday, since the lounge will be open. So I don't think anything's off the table. And I don't think we've discussed eliminating that.
Not eliminating the buffet line or allowing us to go to the lounge, or a combination?
Well, I think the discussion that we've talked about is allowing those people to come into the lounge. Now, how we're going to handle that through the new window that's there, that's a possibility. So nothing's being eliminated. Instead, that's a revenue source, and since I love cash and revenue, I probably want to keep tapping into getting revenue from those people. So eliminating that, I've not heard. That is a rumor debunked.
And I really appreciate that because I know I'm a bingo player. I'm here, and I see how much outside food is coming in.
And there's a discussion about that of what going
can
forward will be done to control that. And that is a topic for the board that they have not yet addressed yet. So we're aware of that, and that is a discussion item. That's revenue that's left on the table in a sense. How do we address that?
And the question is, we have birthday celebrations, so we bring in cake. We have cupcakes. We have popcorn. We have snacks, because we can't get that here. So it's, it's
but those things can. Popcorn, snacks, those can be. It's what has to happen, Linda, and you remember you were on the board. At one point, do you just say, you know what, no one can bring food in, as it was many years ago, not allowed.
Correct.
Kind of bent after COVID and everything. Now do we go back to a point of no? And the question that comes, who enforces that?
Yes.
And what do you do? Do you have then security be the bouncer and say, get out?
Yep, right.
I mean, those are things we have to discuss as well.
And there's one thing that I want to say, because we are videoing it. I hear time and time again, all the outsiders are coming in. And I want to tell you, if there are 250 people here, which there were a few weeks ago, 30 vehicles were outsiders that came in. Everybody else was a resident. So not that many, because bingo gets a report from Securitas on how many come in. So we're not taken over by outsiders. Most of the 250, 230 are Sun Lakes residents. Now, second rumor. Are you removing the lobby bar for an in-house real estate agent? C.
Okay, so what is discussed is now that the lounge will be in place, that lobby bar is not needed. It's redundant now. So there is discussion of, should it be turned into an office, a copy room, a nail salon? That's being discussed. There are many options. And one was a real estate office. Should real estate office be in there? That's an option. The board has not finalized what the decision will be on that and what costs would be to do that. But they have said, since there is a lounge, there's not a need for a lobby bar. Move those resources over to the lounge and handle it. With that empty space, what do? That's for the board discussion. They have not finalized there's not been a final decision on that.
I'm just concerned if you go to a real estate agent, how many lawsuits that's going to come up with there's over 50 real estate agencies in here, or companies. So just a rumor, and I wanted to put it out there.
That there are many things on the table.
I
even
understand.
Changing it to the Patriots bar that you wanted.
I tried, but New England's not doing well this year. It's okay. I have no further comments.
Cal Martin, District 21, we have a haunting event coming up on the 25th of October at the South Clubhouse. Did it last year, had a couple complications, but everybody said, other than me, it was a really good party. And so we're going to do that again. And that's about all I have from District 21. So we will move to the next item on the agenda, which would be old business. I believe there is a motion to bring forward what we indefinitely postponed at the last meeting. Mike? Microphone, please.
I make a motion that we approve the Code of Conduct and Ethics for the district handbooks.
Is there a second to that motion? Seconded by Kate Reed. Okay, well now before we move to discussion on this, I'm just going to say I asked everybody to read and consider this well before we got to this point in time. We're going to try to hold to Roberts and say that you'll have 2 opportunities to speak on this, and you can only speak once until everybody's had their turn. We're going to try to limit it to a couple minutes in your talking. So who would like to be first? Jim.
Thank you, Jim Nickel, District 3. Since I've just recently received this draft, I think we should really go to a workshop, discuss it, the different items. There's a lot of redundancy in this report, and it's 4 pages, far outstrips anything we have in our district delegate book. So I think everyone can show up and let's discuss it, and do the pertinent issues, and create it. But to me, a draft is a draft. It's not a final decision. That's my input. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Mike.
Since I made the motion, I'd like to just say one thing. We've talked about it enough. You've had an opportunity to read it. It's been in front of you for several weeks. If you haven't made the effort now to make the changes or do what you would like, vote no. And I'd like to proceed with the vote.
Thank you. Anita?
Well, I'm new to the Delegate Assembly, but I feel this is a document that we need to have. We've all been elected by our residents, and as such, we need to hold ourselves to higher standards than perhaps just anybody that's we represent the community. We should also remain neutral when it comes to influencing others, and that's not always the case. We know that people are using their position to influence others, particularly when it comes to political things. So I just think this is a good guideline that we need to adopt, that we can all refer to, so we know how to conduct ourselves.
Thank you, Anita. Barbara.
I just found a couple of little typos that need to be corrected. On page 2, under core values, conflict conduct themselves at all time, and it should be times. And then, under meeting conduct, district delegate shall not engage, argue, or converse with members or guests, and it should have an S, guests. I didn't see anything else.
Okay, thank you.
And I also wanted to just mention that I do think this is a necessary thing we should have, and I think that the effort you guys made was wonderful, and I'm voting for it.
Thank you. Make correct.
Thank you, Barbara. Gail?
I would like to just point out again, as Linda did earlier, that when the board is elected, they have to sign a code of ethics. It's actually more than this, a lot more than this. This is a chance for us as an elected person also to step up and say, we agree that we're going to follow rules as well. And I think it's something that's needed. We're not being asked to sign anything like the board does. So I would support this all the way.
Thank you, Gail. Dolores?
Dolores Doherty, District 4. Those that are questioning it and would like to have a closed door, and I guess can't even be closed doors. The public should be able to come in as well. But it's a draft. We have not had it for several weeks. I just got mine delivered in my mailbox last week. So I think we should have the opportunity as delegates and representatives of Sun Lakes to go over it and discuss everything that was put in here. Thank you to those of you that were involved in putting this together, but I still think we all need to talk about it and agree on some of this stuff that, like Jim mentioned, some of this stuff is redundant. It's repeated.
Thank you, Dolores. Greg?
Piggybacking on Dolores's redundant, we refer to existing governing documents twice on just the first page. I think it's overkill.
Are you finished? B.
Does making it a draft and then voting on it mean that we cannot correct anything that's redundant in it?
No, it could be revised at any time.
So corrections can still be made?
Of course.
Yes. Are there any more comments?
Okay.
If there's no more comments, we're going to vote now. And what we're voting on is whether we're going to adopt this draft of the DDA Code of Conduct and Ethics and make it something that, as written, will go into the delegate handbook
With corrections.
with the corrections that have been noted. Thank you. Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion passes. There's only 7 against. And we move to the next item on the agenda. Is there anyone who has something they'd like to bring forward in new business?
Excuse me, my again wasn't against, it was an abstain.
Oh, okay.
Okay, one abstention. Okay.
Nothing under new business. We'll move to the next one, and that would be, oh, sorry, Mike.
Would like to make a proposal that we, I don't know how you do this. I would like to make a motion that at the next meeting, we discuss the feasibility of having a volunteer from the district delegates on each chairmanship, chair board? Of the advisory committee, and that they do a report with us each week if they wish or find something that's done. I know we have people here that are already on the meetings. I think it's important that as delegates, we do more than throw parties and write a newsletter. And I think if we got more responsible about the physicality of things in our district, that it's important that we do that. So I'd like to make a motion. I don't know if we're going to get volunteers for this or not. I know, like I said, we have people on boards, but I would like to see if we have enough volunteers, or if we don't, the ones that want to be on and not in the committee, okay? These are people outside observers, which is a delegate, is a volunteer. That makes sense for you. Thank you.
Could you crystallize that? Maybe put it in one sentence?
Okay, that volunteers from the delegate volunteer to observe committee meetings and report to us.
Thank you. So is there a second to that motion?
I'll second for discussion.
Linda seconds, and for the purpose of discussion, same rules. Two times you can speak, 2 minutes. Is there anyone who would like to speak for? Jean?
Mike, I don't understand the purpose of this function. Could you elaborate on what the results might be?
Happy to. Like I discussed earlier, the South Clubhouse. I observed that the humidifier wasn't on, so on and so forth. We haven't had it cleaned in years. They did a beautiful job, and then it kind of got out of hand. There's certain things in our district. I've got what is it, Sleepy Hollow cul-de-sac that hasn't been repaved in 30 years. It's an original, or 20 years, I should say. Things that could help out Jason and Chris and Mark with their jobs. There's various things. People that take note of if they go to the pool a lot, the main pool, the clubhouses, what's the condition of it? What should we be looking at? What should we be planning for renovations? Who makes a decision on what equipment to put in the workshops? I know I've told it was Jason's idea to put in certain things in our South Clubhouse. I caught a man falling off the whatever machine it was, but it's, you know, anybody over 70 shouldn't be on this thing. And who makes those decisions? I don't know who does that. And I'd like to know, because if we had somebody volunteering, they could say, do you know they're talking about redoing the South Clubhouse? I never knew they were redoing it. I don't know where I missed it, but that's what I'm talking about.
Are there any other comments? Marcia?
Mike, let me ask you, are you talking about advisory committees, or are you talking about open sessions, or are you talking about, which meetings are you talking about? Because every advisory committee does minutes, and the minutes are supposed to be online for you to be able to look at. So you should be able to see everything that's going on in those minutes, as well as, I know what you're trying to do is to come up here and report on all the committees. Is that what I'm getting out of this?
Pretty much, but I think it's more of an involvement from the delegate standpoint. Like I said, I personally feel like I throw parties and write a newsletter, and not sure, and go to a meeting, right? I think there's more to this delegate, and more responsibility, we should be accepted and advisory to the board, to the master board. And I don't see us doing that. And yeah, it would be the committees that do it. You're in the, the Restaurant Lounge Committee. I don't know who else is in a committee but you, but I'm sure there's other people here that are in a committee. And it's, that's the point I'm trying to make.
All right, so would this be something that would be good to bring up in a workshop versus, you know, because there's a lot of discussion going on there. So I think a workshop topic could very easily be something along this line to bring it up rather than to, I mean, because I think there's a lot to it. I understand what you're talking about, but I think that has to be talked about in a more casual, yeah. Well,
I
yeah,
agree.
Okay.
I think that should be part of the workshop topic, just like the ethics and the other.
So would you like to, you can actually change your motion to bring it up as a topic for the workshop.
Yeah.
So you're amending your motion.
Okay. I'm amending my motion that we first discuss this at our workshops.
That works.
Okay, I think we're going to indefinitely postpone is the term that's used. This particular topic, we can bring it back at any other time under old business on the agenda. And now we will move to comments from the members.
Good afternoon, delegates. I just wanted to remind you that there's District 23 and District 15. On the bottom of your page, there is a homeowner on there, and they have not been invited to Welcome Home. So they came to me personally and said, I have not been invited. So I did put it on your list. And I just wanted to say one more thing. We always talk about all the complaints and everything that we have going on here, whether it's the restaurant, and let me tell you, I have been getting a lot of complaints for the restaurant. Why me? I don't know. Maybe it's community awareness. I don't know. Maybe because Bob's the master board and I'm going to tell him. But if you have a problem and you can't get it resolved, you must use message to management. Jason will get back to you. I promise he will. Telling me that you're having a problem with the restaurant and you don't like your food, there's not much I can do about it. But if you let message to management know, they will get it. They will get in touch with Eric or with Josh and find out what the problem is. So the whole point here is to make sure if you're unhappy or there's something that happened, don't bottle up inside and then come running to me or to Debbie Robbins or to Beverly or on Facebook. Don't put such negative things on Facebook because that affects all of us. And we want people to move here. And if they start reading negative things on Facebook, they're not going to want to move here. So please, put your voices and let Jason and Chris know that you have a complaint or there's an issue or your food wasn't good or the pool. Don't put it on Facebook. And come to our own people here before you do anything drastic. That's all I'm asking. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle.
Michelle, could you give us the email address?
The email address for message to management?
It's on the website. It's on the website?
It's right on, it's right on your, when you log in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tim Hanready, District 7. A couple of questions for you regarding the house accounts. Does this mean that we now have a portable point of sale terminal for the restaurant attendants to collect and charge the accounts? We've asked for this going back at least 5 years that I remember, and I remember that the board has approved that we have point-of-sale terminals, and so where do we stand on that?
So we've had point-of-sale terminals for over 10 years. What we're migrating to is to have tablets that will take the credit card right there, and that's what we're migrating toward. That's why you'll see in the budget, just to get ahead of the budget, that there's additional services for IT as well as internet, because we're making sure we have enough signal to handle everything that's out from the golf course when they're doing events out there, and as well as the veranda. So we have tablets, we'll have wireless printers so that they can then print it, and we're migrating from the iPad to the Android so that they can have the swipe on it. So it should be better service out there on the veranda and in the lounge. But we do have had a POS system. They're stationary desktops that are in the back or in the bar. You see them, they swipe through, touch screen, but we're migrating to tablets so it'll be easier for them.
And they'll be activated by this December 1st when we switch over?
Yes, well, and again, that's
Or
what the
sooner.
goal is, to have that done and ready for the public and the staff trained so they know how to do that.
Okay, and the existing script that we may have on our accounts, or the house credit that we have, after December 1st, we will not be able to use that in the restaurant?
No, if you saw my presentation, you'll have two options. You'll either pay by credit card or use your script. So the script
Okay.
stays there.
Okay.
Now, your balance in particular will go to Linda Spalding. I'm just kidding. No,
No, it won't.
but your script balances will be there. This has been a topic that David and Pro Shop is making sure that there are no changes, that the script doesn't disappear. So we're aware of that. That will still be an option for you to use script for your purchase to reduce the amount to zero on your bill, or reduce it, whatever script you have.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Jim Smith, District 9. Live at 5144 Savannah Drive. First of all, I want to thank Linda for bringing up the issue with the homeless. The homeless people are living next door to me at 5150 Savannah Drive. I've been in Sun Lakes for about 10 years. I came to Sun Lakes, or I moved to Sun Lakes for two reasons, and these two reasons have been consistent since I've been here. One is for the security, and two is for the golf. And I've taken advantage of both of them. But now, the security, I don't feel safe at all. I don't open my blinds because I'm afraid these homeless people are going to come over and look in and see what I have in my house and take it. I do like to travel. I'm reluctant to travel now because if there's no activity at my house, they may take advantage of that. These homeless people moved in. Well, one moved in late August, early September. He was introduced to me as Larry the homeless guy. The owner introduced him as Larry the homeless guy. A few days later, the owner hadn't seen the homeless guy for a few days, so he asked me if I had seen his homeless friend who took off in his golf cart, and I had a few words for him, but unfortunately, the homeless guy came back a few days later with another homeless man and a dog. So at that point, there were two homeless men and a dog. Okay, in the last couple of weeks, I've seen a female homeless person, and I can only describe her as a meth or crackhead, and another dog along with her. And this afternoon, as I was pulling out of my driveway, posted on a podium in front of the house is a sign that says, "She, my dog, lives here. Please mind your own. God bless." So to me, that's just giving us Sun Lakers the finger, says I'm going to do what I want with my dog. And dogs are never on leashes. The dogs I've seen on the golf course, we do live on the golf course on hole number 11. The dogs have run free on the golf course. They let them out in the front. They run from yard to yard and take care of their business in other people's yards. until about a week ago, the blinds and their slider doors were always open, but now they're always closed, so I don't know what's going on in the house, or maybe they're aware that people are looking into why they're there and they're becoming concerned about it. I don't know.
No.
I haven't seen the owners since early September.
Excuse me, you're allowed 3 minutes for comment, and you've reached your limit. Could you please quickly conclude?
You're not going to let me finish? As
You have
important
three-
as this
You have
is?
3 minutes, sir.
Are you going to let me finish?
Just quickly conclude.
I called APS on 9/26, Adult Protection Services, and stated my concerns about my neighbor. Micaiah did get back to me on 10/1, but again, she said she can't really give me any facts. I called Banning PD on 9/28 because the lady there was screaming out the window for about a half hour. Larry, the homeless guy, has learned a new word called...
I hate to interrupt you again, but you've exceeded your time. Could you please take a seat?
Something as important as this, you can't extend my time?
Could you please take a seat? You've exceeded the time that's allowed for members to make comments. Thank you. Are there any other comments from membership?
Thank you, everyone. Denny Rugenstein, District 9. The topic that I want to address is the duties of a delegate. Now, when I was a delegate, we had a number of responsibilities: put out a newsletter, put certain things in the newsletter, have parties, report at the meeting, attend each meeting. But the overarching responsibility that we had for the 7 years I was a delegate was we were to be the liaison to the board members. And I'd like to reiterate that, because you would be abrogating your responsibility if you assigned that responsibility of liaising to an advisory committee to the board. You have a direct channel to the board, and I'd like to see that continue. If it's in the manual, great. If it's not in the manual, it's a great oversight to not include that responsibility. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Any other comments from membership? Okay, then I'll say we'll have a workshop tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the North Clubhouse. Hope to see you all there, and we are adjourned.